Really weak. You had it all day.
Yes, I looked at it when I got there.
Five lens for that picture. He's 20 minutes. Yeah. I'm amazed we have just a baby. I can go look right now. But really good, nice picture. Send you. I appreciate it.
All set.
All set, we're live. Okay.
Yeah.
RJ, you're gonna lead the floor, please.
Am I?
You are.
It says who?
Build them camels.
You keep your hair done this night.
I did.
That looks good.
Ready? All right, let's get this thing started. Let's call the meeting in order, please. I need to do that. I don't know. Let's all stand for pledge of allegiance. RJ is going to lead us. With or without?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So, roll call.
Ennis,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Frank, here, Zedek,
Here.
Craig,
Here.
Leonard.
Here.
Peters.
Here. Oh, here. Open to public comments.
No one is online?
I was told I had to bring the meeting or bring it to this meeting to talk about the parking lot that's behind, DG Hair Design, Gen West Building, Rose Villa. Just to get it on the agenda to talk about it, about possibly getting it paved at some point. Just because with all the new businesses coming in, there's a influx of cars back there, people working on the buildings. But people going to Two Dog Tavern and before Tanks opens up, it's gonna be, people are parking there anyways, but there's big divots, big holes, big craters kind of a thing, and it gets muddy with everybody back there. So it's not real safe. They're gonna roll ankles and things, and they'll be blocking people in eventually if we don't get that taken care of. There's just new businesses coming in, and I'm noticing a huge difference with my customers and Rose Villa's customers, and basically it's, yeah.
Okay.
So if we just get it on I don't know how it works.
Yeah, can we get that on?
Please put it on
Talk to
next.
Dave and we'll figure out budgets and stuff. What it's gonna cost and what. We'll look into it and get it, see what we can do.
Thank you.
We'll get it on the agenda. Any other comments? I think she said nothing online.
Nope, nothing here.
Okay. All right. All right, so do I need to read that?
Nope.
Consent agenda,
This just be a motion to approve for all three of these.
the treasury reports, pay the bill or pay the bill?
Yep.
Okay, pay the bills and approval of the city council meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Okay, we got a motion. We got.
I'll support.
And then is there any discussion? Do we have to bring anything up or are you guys all comfortable with approving them all at once?
The light, I noticed one thing on the minutes, but I think you said you corrected it,
Yep.
was the adding.
Corrected.
Okay.
Yep. And anytime, like, this whole sentence is gonna be here on everyone, so that everyone knows that if you wanna take one of those out and talk about it, you have to do that before they make a motion, just say, you know, I wanna talk about the treasurer's report, take it out, the other two will get approved, and then we'll talk about them.
That the motion had to be made in order to discuss.
That, we'll take it out of the consent agenda, so the consent agenda will get approved. And then we'll go to that one next, and then it'll be motioned and from that point on.
More discussion? Okay, all in favor? We need roll call. Okay. All vote?
Not necessarily, there's somebody who's.
Okay. Okay. Let's move then on. Item number 2, Auto Michael's sidewalks on Woodbury.
Welcome, Autumn.
Hello. Give me 1 second. Speak up. Okay.
Do you need a place to rest that?
No. I should be good. Just have to- Okay. Hello. For those who may not know me, my name is Autumn Michaels. I am a 21 years old, completely blind, and a lifelong resident of Deerwood Lane in Laingsburg. I am reaching out to request the construction of a sidewalk along Woodbury Road, just outside of Deerwood. As a blind person, traveling without a sidewalk presents significant challenges. Currently, to access the nearest sidewalk without or outside of the cul-de-sac, I am having to, or independently, I am having to cross a soccer field. This is particularly inconvenient and risk-taking because as someone who is blind, I tend to veer off course in such a wide open area. This makes it difficult to reach the sidewalk on the other side of the field. The alternative is to walk along the edge of Woodbury Road. Unfortunately, this is hazardous, not just for me as a blind person, but also for sighted adults and children who quite frequently have to walk on the side of the road. Not having a sidewalk is especially unsettling for me since many of the vehiclists do not slow down when passing, which, unlike a sighted individual, I can't see if they're coming, when they're approaching. A sidewalk would ensure that blind individuals like myself have the same opportunities for safe and independent mobility as sighted individuals. In addition, restoring the tactile bump dots at crosswalks in the downtown area specifically would greatly enhance accessibility and safety for blind pedestrians. I understand that these improvements may involve significant cost, and I am more than willing to help brainstorm and implement creative ways to raise funds for these projects. If anyone is interested in discussing further or exploring potential solutions, please feel free to contact me at, and then I have my email address, which is asky, ASKY, then the numbers 1234134@gmail.com. Thanks so much for your time and consideration.
Hey, Joanne.
So I've talked to Autumn a couple times, and she worked in college with, a lot of things for disabled people. So, I think with talking to her, I wanted her to come talk to everyone here and see if it was something that we could maybe work together with. Maybe we can find grants, maybe we can find stuff that's, specifically for disabled, blind people, getting sidewalks, getting, something that, all the other issues too. So, but yeah, I mean, we're in the city office, we're willing to work with her and try and find some solutions to the sidewalks. We have looked into that before years ago, apparently. I don't know what the figure was, but it was extremely high to put those sidewalks on Woodbury. So, yeah, we wanted to.
That's referring to the subdivision near the cemetery, correct? Like
Yeah.
towards State Market.
Yeah.
So I know, 20 or 30 years ago, they were looking at putting sidewalks in on Woodbury the entire way. I'm just listening
They had
to,
it part way, I know now,
Yeah.
I think, but
yeah, they don't have it much, maybe 60 feet on the north side of Woodbury.
Yeah.
But I know there are running issues now. Autumn, are you looking to get to Grand River, or do you want to try to get all the way to Doyle's, do the entire length of Woodbury?
It would be nice to do the whole.
Okay.
Like, and like, I'm not even saying, like, not on the side where the cemetery is, where when you get out of the cul-de-sac and you turn left, that way is fine, because that, the cemetery is usually pretty empty. But the right, like when you go out of the cul-de-sac and you turn right,
Connecting that cul-de-sac with.
With Grand River?
yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
to get
So she
around
can
to
have
the other
access to
side.
everything else within the community, because we actually last summer, I took her for a walk to show me, give me a better idea. I have a blind child.
Mhm.
Give me an idea of what you, encounter, when you try to go do banking or go get cookie dough or,
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
and she got lost. And, I helped her not at all. I told her I wouldn't. It was very disheartening. I don't know how else she could do it.
Mhm.
But I mean, she deserves access just like everybody else, but I think I really liked how Autumn appealed to also the young kids. We have that daycare center right there, and to get to Shiawassee Street that I live on, they have to walk a little portion of Woodbury. And then through the cemetery and pushing those strollers. This would just provide another,
Definitely.
so that Autumn doesn't have to go, because currently for her to get to Grand River safely.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's
she doesn't go
terrifying
that
with
way.
sight, I'll tell you.
She
Well, it would either be that or cross the soccer field, and with uneven ground,
Mhm.
like a big wide open area like that, I have gotten, and we can't put like stakes or anything, because that soccer field is still, people use it, and they'll take them out, they'll put them other places, and then I'll end up in more of an interesting places than I've ended up all the way on the other side of the building, of the school buildings, to the bleachers, to somehow making it all the way over to the other side of the soccer net area. And then there's other times where I'll be walking around and wonder why I haven't even gotten to the sidewalk yet, and it's because I'm walking in circles around everybody's houses. So, or it's like I said, the alternative of walking on the side of Woodbury, which is terrifying.
What soccer field are you referring to? Is that at the church?
Laingsburg.
Yeah.
Actually.
So our neighbors are very gracious. They let us like, the houses that are like right attached to, we hang out with those people all the time. So they let us go right through their yard, which is great. I'm fine with that, but not, I don't know when the soccer field is, where the line is between their yard and the soccer field, and B, getting through the soccer field is an adventure.
No, I agree. Something should be done. We talked about that before with the park at the course. And now we got the park trail. We're gonna see what we can do about connecting them, so that might all tie together. To get something really going now that we can get something over there, 'cause really, to get to the north side and the south side, you almost need Woodbury sidewalk. And you're right, it is crazy with cars.
It's so
on that road,
scary.
yeah. I mean, I live on it. I know exactly what you're talking about, so.
Yeah, well, my mom always says, she's like, I can't run. She has to like go downtown to run, because she's like, I can't run on the side of Woodbury, because
Mhm.
she has her music in. She doesn't know what's going on around her. But like I said, I'd be more than willing to help figure something out.
Yeah, we can think about, figure out some good ideas, but, no, I think we can look into this pretty hard and see what we can come up with and see if we can do it quicker than longer. So, but I appreciate you letting us know, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much.
So procedurally, how does that work? Does it go to Department of Public Works? I mean,
The next step would be
Feasibility,
looking for
type of-
grants, figuring out, the costs, probably get an estimate. I mean, this would be on Dave to get a lot of this stuff to figure out. He might have estimates already.
I do, yeah, we had it estimated 2 or 3 years ago when we looked into it, and it was astronomical. I don't have numbers right in front of me.
Right.
So
I wanna say
Because-
it's like.
Was it
This- yeah,
astronomical at 20 grand or 100 grand?
It was
100.
over there,
I
because
thought it was
we had
100,
to, because
120.
to stay in our
it
road
was
right away, you had
210.
to fill in ditches, put culverts in, we did driveways.
Are you referring to the entire length, north
Yeah.
to south, or just?
No, that
subdivision?
was just from the subdivision to Woodbury, or the Grand River Road,
And that was one side or two sides?
one side.
Yeah.
Over 300,000, you thought?
It was between 1 and 3, 270 or 275, somewhere.
Yes, Alan?
I did have one more thing.
Yeah, sure.
The bump dots, the placated domes.
Mhm.
My mom said she was running a couple weeks ago, months ago, and, the bump that's down by specifically downtown area are gone. I don't know if somebody fixed those yet or not, but
I have ordered some, they're not in yet. And some of the sidewalks have not been upgraded yet, so they don't count them.
Those ones I replaced.
And I'll put some of them on them, we just haven't done them because we was talking about redoing them, and we didn't redo them until next year, so.
Do those wear down over time, I guess, the most?
No, they're. Because they were aftermarket, they weren't done when we did the sidewalk, so they're just glued and screwed on, so when you hit them with the blades, the screws will break off and. That they're, yeah, and they break and you don't find them in the winter and.
the snow plows don't help with that either.
Do we have like a master plan that says how much
Yeah,
footage of
online.
the sidewalks needs to be complete
Mhm.
and all that?
Yes.
Yeah, all of our plans are on the website, master plan.
Is that sidewalk part of the master plan? Is it there now?
I
thought it was
think
in
it is
I
in
think
there,
it is in there.
yeah, because it's, I mean, it's been talked about for
Years, well, obviously,
Yeah.
when my dad was on council, they talked. So, because they started working on it and then money came into the problem, so I know it's been,
Well, they tried to do it with
Well, we
that,
tried to do it with the Safe Routes
Yeah.
program too, but that one they wanted us to do it, we had to do both
Both
sides of the
sides.
road.
okay.
I think that's so dumb.
I know,
Yeah,
it really makes no,
No sense.
yeah, makes no sense to think, do that,
Especially because the other side's just a field.
yeah.
Closer to nature,
Yes.
or you could be closer to the cemetery.
Literally.
Take your pick.
Anybody else got anything else to add to that, or? Thank you.
We'll keep in contact, I'll keep in contact with you.
Yeah, I've called here a couple times.
Yep, well, and Kim, by the way, you're the one, I'm the one to talk
You
to.
sounded very, very familiar.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to the library.
Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Sarah Matson, and I've been on the library board for a couple of years now. And we have some really exciting things happening at the library right now. There's a lot of great momentum, and I wanted to first draw your attention to the year in review document that was put in your packet. The first two lines to me really say it all. You'll see that our active library card count is a little over 1,700. And of those 1,700 library cards, the ones that are new to 2024, it's 354. So that's a pretty high percentage, and I think speaks volumes to that momentum, the success of our programming that's happening right now, and the need for the growth to keep occurring in our building. If you look at that sheet further, you see all of the programming that's been done this year, our fundraising, our outreach. We've spent a lot of time focusing on children. That seemed to be the biggest need, but we feel like that's been a successful implementation and is kind of self-sustaining right now. And we're looking to focus our attention in 2025 to our teenagers and our adults. There's definitely a need for our middle school programming and our high school programming. And we're running into the same issues with that programming that we ran into when we were looking at our children's programming. We just don't have the space to implement a lot of the stuff. And it creates hurdles and some complications that seem like could be avoided if we could move forward with some of the building expansions. And that brings me to the expansion plan that's in your packet, which is the real reason we're here tonight. We've circled around this for a couple of months and wanted to come tonight with a more black and white plan for you guys. You'll see the phases outlined here. We've been in a pre-phase these last couple of months of gathering information, having conversations with you guys, contractors, realtors, Mr. Singh, and we feel prepared to move to that phase one of purchasing that building. Of course, a lot of that is contingent on how those inspections come back, and that will be something that will be hopefully moving forward within the next couple of weeks before Christmas even to obtain that building. Once the building's obtained, we're gonna move to phase two and just securing it, making sure that we prevent any further damage or decay from happening. And from there on out, it's moving forward with the business plan, grants, fundraising, getting you guys our plan for the building, how we're gonna lay it out and all of that. The piece that we're here today to discuss the most is that paragraph right under phase 4. We're requesting that the city make a motion to agree to buy 247 for $1 and then lease the building back to the library under a lease that is agreed upon between the library and the city. In my time spent in the library, something that's very evident to me is that the library is for everyone. We've got our babies and toddlers in there on a weekly basis. We've got our senior citizens in there multiple times a day. Young moms like myself who are getting connected. I knew no one when I moved to Laingsburg, and that was a great way for me to get connected and plugged into the community. There's really something for everyone, and that feels pretty unique that there is something that we can invest in and spend our time and energy that everyone can benefit from, regardless of your demographic, age, gender, socioeconomic background. And so we just appreciate the time that you guys have taken to have conversations with us over the past few weeks. We're really excited about the future and what we can continue to accomplish. The programming we can continue to do, the people we can continue to bring downtown to our businesses. It's just an exciting time at the library. So if you guys would consider making that motion and so we can move forward with the purchase of the building, we would really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. When you guys are looking at purchasing the building, you're gonna have contingencies in there in case there's a lot of damage and the cost outweigh what you're willing to pay for it, right?
And a lot of that will come into play as we have those conversations and discover the issues that may or may not be there. And Kim has provided us with a pretty detailed list of what those inspections will look like. So yes, that will be definitely a huge part of that phase 1.
Okay, and you need phase 1 to move forward to the inspections, right?
We need to make an offer before we can officially, just like when you buy a home, it would be contingent on those inspections and how they come back. We're also going to get his warranty on that roof, seeing if that's transferable, seeing what that all entails. There's a lot of things like that, but really can't happen until we make an offer.
Right.
And we have intentions to meet as a board on Thursday to move forward with that offer if we have your blessing. But a lot of that is just contingent on what they find when they start those.
So you said he does have a warranty on the roof?
He says he does, so we're gonna see what it entails, if it's transferable.
Okay, would he have the roof fixed beforehand if he actually has the warranty?
From my understanding, he doesn't believe there's an issue with the roof, so that would be part of the inspection. And I think just like buying a house, like we went back and asked our seller to do certain things and there were some back and forth what he agreed to do. So I'm assuming it would be the same with him, and our purchase price would reflect how that all comes out. It's just hard to say at this time without knowing what some of those items look like.
I just want to make sure that is in the
Yes.
thought process, just like buying a house.
Yes.
You
Yep.
don't want to buy something that is.
Phase 1 is truly contingent on how all of those inspections come back. We would not get into anything, I don't believe, that required more of us than we were able to take on.
Okay.
It wouldn't be worth it at that point for
Right.
us.
Okay, that makes sense.
I would like to make a motion to support that we, the city agree to buy 247 Grand River for $1. And then lease it back to them.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor, to purchase the building.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a support, so let's open up the discussion. I mean, my first thing would be with that motion, I would try to amend it saying with everything contingent on them buying the building, that we would want to make sure that everything's clear and it's safe to go, and at what point do we take it over, either after that first purchase, because it's mainly for the insurance is what you're looking for to get on it.
So the issue we run into is it obviously needs to be insured immediately. We don't want to purchase it and then have something happen. So Kim did a little bit of investigating and we've done some investigating. There's 2 different routes we could take. The library could take out a policy and pay for it out of our building fund, or there's an option to go through the city. And as long as we're using that, at least for storage, which we could put it on that policy. So that's just the discussion.
I think it also depends on which grant we want to go on. I don't think we need to figure out if it's going to be a library grant. We want to give you the building and you can't apply for a library grant. I think in around the stuff that
The grants, when we decide what kind of grant we're gonna know is also a factor.
Before the insurance came into play, our intent was to give you a finished building. Just so that it was more clear cut. It was ours until we finished it. But then the insurance component came in, and the only reason is just to make sure that it's properly insured, and that would be the only thing that changed that timeline. But the intent would not change. We would still be moving forward with the phases, investigating those grants. We have one that we're gonna potentially pursue from T-Mobile that could potentially add money. So that, those things wouldn't change. It would just be the timing. But the expectation would still be that all of the renovations, all of that would be on the library.
Okay, and are we talking upper floor or just the main floor?
I think it's a little bit of both. Our intent initially is to get the first floor done. And then if, while we're searching for grants, I think there was discussion about looking at some of those.
I think the word said that we'll look at it.
Yeah, and there's some other ideas too, like libraries have what they call, I think it's a library of things. And that's pretty common. Lansing has it, Bath has it, where they rent out things, power washers, tablets. And so even if that space ended up being used for something like that temporarily, storage, we have a ton of books that go in our used book sale. So there's temporary things that that space could be used for, but when we're looking for grants, that would obviously be something we would pursue too.
And our insurance company then would just want a contract for us to insure that building and not be technically in our name yet. They would want a contract between us just stating what it is and then all the specifics of the building.
So that's the reason to have this motion now. Because at first I was thinking, aren't we getting the cart ahead of the horse, but no,
Yeah.
it's making
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, with all the contingencies they'll
Yeah.
have on the purchase,
Okay.
that would protect.
And then the
them.
contract that we'd have between them would be more specific on what you guys
Yep.
really want in that agreement of when you're gonna take it over, all that good stuff.
And
once
I
they
think
do
there's
that.
been just a gray area, like what our role is, what we need from you. And I think at the end of the day, it's this feeling that we can move forward and purchase the building. But then if we don't have your blessing on taking ownership someday, there's a missing piece. So this felt like a good way to summarize the permission or what we need from you with the understanding that we are still responsible for everything else in the building side.
Right, and I mean, eventually we could work that contract, if you want to call that out, or lease or, and get very defined items so we can get rid of the gray stuff, because I don't like gray stuff. So,
You offered an amendment to say we'd do this for $1 contingent on inspections and everything else, but so we know what we're getting into before.
I would
For the
suggest
$1.
amendment on it. I mean, if I need to do it, I can, but I don't know if I can amend it. Doesn't Randy have to amend that, or can you? How do you do an amendment?
Oh, you mean from the
From his-
motion?
Yeah,
And he
Um,
friendly amendment. I'm just trying to understand what you were
Yeah.
asking.
I'm just so that
I
way
think
it doesn't go.
the specifics would become at a later date. They just wanted to make sure that we're still willing to own the building. And, you know, potentially insure it, even though it's not in our name. And then that contract would be written up, and then that's when you guys would approve whatever it is you want in that contract between the library and the city, on when you're gonna take it, what shape you're gonna take it in. All those good things will be the next step. After just approving that, yep, we agree to buy it, but for $1, and then you guys move on and then we'll do the contract after that. I'm expecting as soon as they make the, you know, once they actually purchase the building, then we go from, okay, now we need to know the details.
So it sounds like if it's their intention to, upon purchasing it, addressing any like major issues, real.
That's all gonna be done before we even get to that, right?
Exactly, so that would alleviate.
Yeah, it opened, basically, I would say this is, us doing that would open the door for them to move forward.
Mhm.
And then it's still, there's a possibility, worst case scenario, they don't go forward with the purchase, best case scenario, building's great, and you move forward and you get a great deal on it, and well, it's a wonderful thing to move forward. I think it's great to do it, it's just I want to make sure everybody's protected.
And I think for the library's best interest, we don't want to get involved in something that is not gonna be clear cut and something that we can handle. So the whole phase one is very contingent on those inspections and all going according to plan.
So we wouldn't technically have to amend that motion.
And then my other question is, have we ran this through our legal department to see what they think.
As far as the contract between them, we will, if we get to the, when we get to the point of that, then, yeah, we'll have to.
Who is legal?
Okay.
That's it?
Mhm. We're hoping in the process,
gonna
we're all
address
gonna
that
get
later.
somebody new.
I like,
That's the next one.
great guy.
Yeah, he's super nice.
Any more discussion?
We need to amend it before we vote.
I don't think we need
First,
to
I
amend
don't
it.
think we're amending it.
Yeah, I don't think we need to amend it on that. So we have the motion on the floor, seconded to agree to purchase the building with all their contingencies met for $1 after the fact. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, all right, because it's $1, let's do a roll call on it.
Ennis,
I support.
Miller,
Yes.
Frank, yes, Dee Dee,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Beavers.
Yes. Okay, motion is passed. You have that support. Okay, this next one, this is.
Okay.
All right,
Um,
motion to approve Mr. Newkirk. Library board. That's right back there, guys. Need a motion to approve them?
I make a motion to approve.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Jody, second by RJ, any discussion on it? Going once, going twice? Okay, no discussion, all in favor for approving them, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You are on board, dude.
You come in tomorrow and sign your oath.
Motion to approve local roots marijuana facility annual permit application. This is a yearly thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
And I try to put the whole thing in the packet because there's new people here. So normally we'll say it's on file in the office because it's a big packet. So,
There's a lot of.
I go through it every year, double check with everything, make sure they got everything they need. They always do. Right on it. So everything checked out. Now they have to submit it and then we'll wait for the license to come and they have to do it with us every year.
I will make a motion to approve.
Second that.
Motion by RJ and second by Craig for approval. Any discussion? No, nothing.
Nothing, thank you.
Any discussion for the board? No? All right, all in favor for approving? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is approved. All right, motion to approve the budget amendment for resolution number 2416. Roy.
I will make the motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion. I need a second, please.
Trying to find it, grab this packet.
Page number, item number 5, page 15.
15, I'm on like 40.
44.
44. Sorry, page that up.
Okay, I'm gonna have to show you guys how to look at the packets. Yeah, because if you go on the website and then you go back out of it and then it's all highlighted in there. So if you're looking for something, you just hit the hyperlink and then it pulls up that and then you go back. Yeah. That way you don't have to.
I
I
did.
was wondering how you get.
You're the youngest one at the table, mister.
That's not true. That's not hard.
All right, so we have a motion and we're reading it. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second. We need to review it at all, any discussion.
We talked about this in the finance meeting before this. Really, the budget amendment, what we're looking at is Paula used to wait until the very end and do one amendment
which was larger. So we would deal with this in May, June. Janelle would like to do it at least twice a year, so December and then June, right before the final budget would be needed for approval. So it's really just trying to get everything to us sooner, so we're not looking at a huge amendment at the end. We're looking at a smaller amendment now and a smaller amendment later.
Am I reading this correctly, that appropriations fund 590? And no, I'm not, never mind. That's just for that. Where's the total? Up, down, sideways, what's our bottom line?
You mean what's the total of the entire amendment?
To
Or just
change these changes?
I don't think it's all of the increases, yeah, I'll think about it.
It does it by department.
I did it by department.
Yeah,
So everything is within,
Appreciated. to
like I
know
said in
by
the,
numbers.
finance meeting for the ones that weren't there. Everything is within our funds already, and if we get to June and a department would be over what was already budgeted. Every department has a transfer to our CIP, which is our capital improvement projects fund. I would downsize what would be transferred over to that, so that department would still be within their budget, if
There,
that makes sense.
there is no number for the capital improvement fund
I don't have it
that
on
we
there.
try to stick to.
Well,
In
it's,
our,
capital improvement fund is always looking for money, because it's kind of
That's
the
my-
projects that are going
So-
down, so we're trying to put money in there.
so with our budget, we do a CIP plan. So our CIP plan looks at the projects that we're gonna have for the next fiscal year. So we transfer, so when I budget, I plan for those projects and what needs to be transferred from that department into that CIP. To plan for the next fiscal year. Usually I do a 5% increase because costs usually increase 5% every year, give or take. So sometimes it's enough, sometimes it's not, but if we can't do the project, then we don't do the project. We don't have enough.
But this motion is basically to approve you to check it twice a year instead of once a year.
Yeah.
Well,
So
she's doing it twice a year.
Yeah, it's approving the amendment, so she can put it in a final kind of.
Right. So it's not like it's not like we're adjusting the budget itself, it's just
No.
letting her be
We're
more
we're
precise.
Yeah,
adjusting
and
it
it
within
will be-
each budget.
Yeah.
right, I'm moving the money within the fund so that that particular expense line is now within budget.
So everything under Fund 203 Local Street Fund, you'll jockey it around, it doesn't go up.
Right.
Right.
The bottom line of that department doesn't change, but those expense lines will have to be increased, so then the others will have to be decreased. Or I just say,
So we've
Dave,
still
you can't
gotta-
spend a lot of money on this area, stop spending money.
Right.
So
And it-
we are living within a budget then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not just winging it and, well, we need more money.
Right, no, nothing's being taken out and put in. It's
Right.
all
Okay.
staying
Just
within
moving
its
around.
own budget.
Yeah, we're not going over budget. We're just taking money that we had already said, we're going to the CIP fund and saying, okay, we actually need that for this fund, so it's moving from there to the actual line item. It's not that
Out
we're,
of the CIP.
it's not out of the CIP, but it's out of what would go to the CIP if we don't use it.
So I don't transfer any money to the CIP until the end of the year. I budget for it at the beginning of each fiscal year. And then at the end of that fiscal year, I will determine whether I can do the full amount. Or I will amend it and only do a smaller amount, whatever we spent in that. I'm going to do a budget workshop this winter.
That
So
would
that
be
we
nice.
can go over everything. And how
That sounds fun.
I like it, it's fun.
July 1.
Yeah.
So we're amending.
Just things that are out right
an
now.
Existing.
Yeah,
budget.
Yes.
right.
Yeah. So,
There are places that do it monthly, and there are others that do it quarterly, and I at least want to do it semi-annually, because when I did it last year, I was like,
I think
It was
it's a lot
like five,
easier
6
to
pages.
understand too, you know, like
Yeah.
you can get a grasp of it, so in July, you're not just like, oh my God, what's all this?
Yeah.
You know?
Your capital part of that is whatever you have remaining at the budget at the end of the year, you just dump in the capital
Right.
improvement for the next.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that stays there and then it just accrues,
Mhm.
like, so every year for Dan, we budget for the new patrol car.
Mhm.
So every year, I put more in it this year because prices increase, so instead of, I think it was 20,000, I think I upped it to 30,000, because that also will include vests and any repairs that have, it doesn't come out of his fiscal year budget, it's something that we can plan for next year. We have like a pot money that we can pull from, that was left over in his department from the prior year.
You say you raised that departmentally?
Yep.
Okay.
So every department has their a CIP number. It's all 30 or 405s. But then there's, the next number would be each department has their own.
Okay, perfect. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay, so we have motion and second on your floor. Any more discussion? Jimmy, good?
Hmm?
You good?
I'm young enough. I'll get over it.
Okay. All right, do roll call on this one? Or do you, okay, let's do roll call.
Ennis,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Dedek,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
Miller, oops, sorry, Leonard,
Yes.
Beavers.
Yes.
The heck it is with your name, I need that.
So that is approved. Staff report needs a special assessment.
Okay, this is the thing we have to do every year because of the property on Grand River, the house that burnt down. Finally went up for foreclosure, so hopefully this is the last year we have to do this.
Well,
But-
made in February.
Yes, so we have to mow the lawn all summer long because they don't. And this is the start of getting it put onto the tax. So we have to go through this big long thing, and that's one of the forms that you guys have is all the stuff we have to do. Public hearings and all this stuff. This is the beginning of it.
This has gone on since they burned down.
Pretty much, yes. Yeah.
Every year.
Oh,
Has the
yeah.
city collected through the Michigan PA 495 program on that property? You know, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, that's all been done when it was all fired. Yeah, we have that
I
whole.
deal with that a lot in my job and just want to make sure, I know Laingsburg's are participating in this municipality, so I want to make sure.
Yeah, good thing on that one. Most of them we don't have to do, but that one we do. But anyways, this is the beginning of it. The staff reports in there of, you know, what we billed them for, whatever, which we don't bill them anymore because it just comes back. Bill it, the else is gonna come right back. So that is their bill. This is what we have to do. We have to give you that special report and then we have to do the resolution. So then it'll be a few more months of this, so just like no, it'll come up in the next.
Yep.
Probably 3 months, I think, until March. We'll be doing
So, need a motion to approve the special assessment?
them. We need the public hearing, the one that's right below that. This is all the stuff we have to give you, and then you guys approve the resolution 24. 15. I
So
think
number
that's what.
8, the motion to approve resolution 2415, tentatively determining its necessity and scheduling the public hearing. So, any motion?
I make a motion to approve resolution 245.
Second.
Are you second?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I will second.
Okay,
You can.
so we got a motion and a second for approving resolution 245 or 2415. Any discussion? Nope. All right, roll call or no roll call? Nope, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it's carried. Next one, a motion to approve the contract for the building inspectors.
So when he was hired, we only did a 6-month contract.
Oh.
I think that was a
Like
trial,
probationary,
yeah, something like that. So we're doing a year one now.
10,000?
Yep.
10,000 a year for
Instead of per inspection.
Yeah.
I think it got converted back to this packet,
You did?
unless I downloaded the wrong version.
If you opened one that was, you already had opened, then it didn't,
Maybe it
yeah,
did, okay.
yeah. 'Cause I'm like, that's a whole new thing.
Copies.
At work, it said You're late.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
it
you
says
probably
there.
opened one there and yeah,
Okay.
so if you've opened one, yeah, I found that I did that too, if I opened the
And
same one.
it's total building, not just electrical.
No, this is
Okay.
the building
Building,
inspector. We have 3 other ones that are for the electrical, the plumbing and the,
Okay.
Oh, we do have more than one inspector.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, he's the building inspector and then if he has an electrical, then he calls them. And we have a contract with that electrical, is it plumbing, electrical and mechanical.
How's it going with them? I mean, like, is he in the office regularly and is it
Every Monday and
beneficial?
Wednesday.
Every Monday,
Santa's from him.
right? Squeaky Santa.
Sweetie Santa.
this said electrical.
It's changed. If you open the other, if you open the new one, it doesn't
I
say it.
never, you sent me a new one?
If
'Cause
you're
I don't
looking at
have
the,
it.
if you're, are you looking online?
I'm looking at my email.
Okay, that one's not, I sent you guys that email saying that it's been updated, though you gotta go on the line on the website. Cause I've added a million things since I sent you guys that on this Wednesday.
Okay,
Did you get your texted? Did you get texted by me?
sometimes I pay attention to them.
Okay.
Honestly, good.
Yeah, because of the holiday and stuff, we kind of had to add stuff on later, so some stuff got got put on later and changed. So if you go on the website, it's
Go to
always
the
the most
website,
current.
pull up the most.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't-
Oh, yeah, it has been changed from.
Do we get
From
itemized
Friday.
bills?
Do what
Do we get itemized bills
for him?
for what service he's doing for us?
No, but he's supposed to give us a report, but it's supposed to be in June.
So there's just one bill, there's not multiple bills. Is that what you're
No,
asking?
we-
No,
I'm
he-
just saying, what's he doing for $10,000?
He
He
will-
did
he-
30 inspections, does he, right, what buildings
His-
have he done, what is he doing for 10 grand?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's doing something, I just don't know what it is.
He is, per his agreement, he is supposed to give us a breakdown of everything at the end of the year, which is our fiscal year. He's supposed to do, so in July, he's supposed to give us a report of everything he's done.
Inspection fees come to the city.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have a tally of the amount
Yeah,
of
we
revenue.
keep, yeah, we have a,
We have not paid for him yet.
yes,
Wait a minute.
yeah.
So
hoping that-
with the inspection fees, you can kind of backwards track it.
Yeah, we're tracking it, in our own little way, we're tracking it, yeah, in our spreadsheet, we track it, but he's supposed to give us a report at the end of his fiscal year. Of what he actually did all year. But we,
Could he do that monthly?
if you
so
wanna
that
change
we
the
can-
contract, yeah. I mean, we can ask him to do whatever we want.
He probably public, just give it a mileage.
Yeah.
We are the customer.
Yeah, sorry.
Customer's always right.
I think it's a good point, if he's generating $5,000 worth of revenue, but he's costing us 10 grand.
Which this is what the whole thing of
Yeah.
hiring.
Well, and also versus what was once done,
Right, 'cause
previously done.
it used to go through Pete Preston.
The
And
county.
we would have issues with the inspector. He would backtrack on his own thoughts and what he told people. He would.
Pete?
Huh?
Pete would?
No, not Pete.
Oh,
His guy. that
Building
did it.
inspector.
There's just a lot of issues with that inspector and a lot of the property owners that were trying to get things done. He would say one thing, then he'd come back and say, no, you need to do this, and then they'd have to change a whole bunch of stuff again. And then it just got to the point where it was repetitively not working out well for the buildings of the people that are trying to make the town better. That's why the last council wanted to switch it out, and so we got rid of the county, we went with him.
You want an environment that's conducive.
Correct,
to-
yes, and,
Yeah,
and the last council thought it was best to pay extra money to get that better environment and more friendly atmosphere and to let people get their buildings open quicker.
So it does cost the city more.
Yeah, it does.
But at the end, we also didn't
But-
have a choice. This county sent us a letter that said that they were dropping us no matter what, so we had
Yeah.
to find a new one.
That's tough.
and he had already been here to talk to us about it. I don't know, did we look at, see if there was cheaper options at that time? Cause I know it was like we need to do this now because we have to have somebody.
We looked at some people, I mean, I know I talked to some different people, and I called some different communities to ask them what they do, so.
Yeah.
But it wasn't gonna happen quick enough for us to have somebody here on site to do it.
No,
How much
I-
is it, Tom?
3,500.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we kept all our feet.
Yeah, but that was no longer an option because they came up.
It does say in here that the consultant, which is him, will provide the client monthly activity reports of permits and revenue generated by the building inspector.
It's in there.
Get on.
Did they have a yearly thing in there too? Will also provide an annual report within 60 days thereafter.
Failure to produce monthly reports reduces the fee to 5,000.
I added that myself.
We'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So he doesn't do that right now? No. No, I guess I must have skipped that part and I read the yearly one, so I didn't even think about it.
But we can start getting those reports from him, you know, that way we can look at it again when the contract's up, it's like, all right, what is more cost effectively? And plus it may give us time to research more people or more options out there. He might be the cheapest one, I don't know for sure. I think I talked to Dansville and theirs was higher
Yeah, I
And they
think
pay more.
everybody we looked at was either right at him
or higher.
higher.
And he is amenable
Oh, yeah.
to everyone and
Yep,
He does a lot of, I mean, he does very, he,
yeah, I mean, he has
He's got
5
how
or 6
many?
different communities.
Yeah.
But I mean, I dealt with a top
Yeah.
person and he was much smoother and easier to get things done than the other guy.
Where were you reading that from?
the contract,
Page
item 9.
55.
50, page 55, is that it?
Yeah.
Contract for professional services building inspector.
That's electric.
yeah, this is the old
Okay.
version.
Yeah, Tim's behind.
Building inspector, and we're
Oh,
within
yeah.
that.
Right up
Are you
top. I thought,
talking about where it says that he would give
Paragraph
monthly?
1, 2, and
Second
3.
paragraph,
Second.
statement of work.
right there.
Okay.
Will also provide annual report and monthly.
Monthly activity report, okay. Stared right at it.
See, that's what I
Trees
misread.
went away.
Yeah. Any more discussion? Let's go ahead and get this voted on, which means money, roll call.
Dennis?
Yeah.
Miller,
Yes.
Frank? Yes. Edith,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes,
Beavers.
Yes. Approved. Motion to approve cemetery price increase for sexton services.
Make a motion.
My support.
Motion support, any discussion? Basically to get people to stop burying people on Saturdays and cost us twice more money.
We also lose money every time we do it.
Yeah.
Cemetery's not a moneymaker for sure.
No, it's gonna keep that option out there, but
It's
We're,
not-
we're
they're gonna
way
make us
below
money, but
what
it's
everybody
breaking
else
even.
is.
yeah, we need to be, we need to be up to what everybody else is. as well.
how do we determine what it's costing us to do job,
Labor.
Yeah, cause every time.
equipment? Maintenance,
Correct.
Yep, like mowing, whipping,
And,
if
and
they-
like I
yeah,
told
they
my
would get
committee, Tim, the numbers at the bottom after this year, that does not include the mower that we purchased in July, $80,000.
So for Mount Olivet, those prices did not go up.
they,
A couple of them
Yeah, I
did.
thought they did.
the weekends.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
Holidays.
Yeah, thank
Most of
you.
it stayed the same, but weekends and holidays is.
Thank you.
Because Mount Olivet currently has prices that are higher than ours.
You guys are thinking we'll be at like a break even point.
I'll be right. I mean, we've had quite a few burials, which some years we do, some years we don't. It's definitely not something the city took on and knew that, thought that they were gonna even probably work it, because it's just not that kind of a
We can just lose
business.
less amount of money.
Yes.
Correct.
so
That's,
we're leaving it the same though on a weekday burial.
Yeah.
So there is no change
Not for
if
that.
you're
Yeah, normal.
Monday through Friday, 9 to 5,
We will also probably be,
7 to 3.
upping our, plots, June or July, whenever we have the cemetery board meeting, we'll be suggesting that to them. Because we are really below what everybody else is there too, so. But we'll take it to them first. for Recommendation,
What is the cost of a plot?
400,
Is that whether you live in the city or not?
anybody across the board.
Taxpayers should get a discount.
A lot of places they do.
Yeah.
I absolutely.
That might be
agree. I think
something to bring up.
So what
Yeah,
you're
that's,
saying is I
that's
need
the
my,
plan.
to
is
buy
when
my
we have
plot
that
now?
meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buy your plot, buy your waste plot, so you can one.
Yeah.
All right, any more discussion on it? All right, we need roll call? Okay, all in favor?
Fine.
Any opposed? That is carried. Motion to approve resignation of Scott Dedek from the Board of Reviews.
Which is just my reminder, to let you all know that all the boards except for, I think, believe the library is needing people. So the planning commission needs 3, now the board of review needs 2, actually, to play Scott and then an alternate. And, DDA doesn't, they got enough. So if you know anybody that's looking to be on a board or.
Can you get a list and just send an email for everybody so that we.
Yeah, it's on the website. The website has a thing on there to be sent out to everybody in the community, hoping that somebody would come in and fill out an application.
Class.
Yeah,
Something you could.
yeah, I probably could put, sometimes if they're too long, like I could probably do little ones like, hey, you know, but when they're too long, I know that people stop.
Yeah. Quick and simple.
But yeah, it's out on the website, and I think Cassie's put it out there a couple times on the Facebook page too.
We need a motion to accept his resignation.
I make a motion to accept his resignation from board review.
Second? Well, I'll second.
We need him here, so.
Yeah. All in favor? Or any discussion, I'm sorry, any discussion further? No, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's done.
Greg,
Committee reports. Oh, what?
we need to circle back because we need
Okay.
to approve the agreement we have to send to the Catholic Church to up the prices.
Well,
That was
Oh.
mine.
Yeah, you just have to, it's just the simple agreement that we have with the church and it has the prices on it, so we'll have to get that signed again. And we have to sign it, so you guys have to approve it.
I don't think it's a motion, though. It's just, we're agreeing to up the prices and then once they agree to it, then it's fine.
Okay.
Right.
But somebody from the city has to sign it, so it has to be approved.
Right.
Okay. All right, so we got an agreement with what church?
You know,
Stand in the door
not all of that.
to up the price and we'll sign it, all in favor? Or I guess we need a motion, sorry, may not skip the vote here.
Technically don't, because they have to decide to sign it. Once they sign it, then we do. So
Okay.
it's not really a motion on our
Okay, so
side.
we don't need a
We're just
motion on
agreeing
that.
to give them that contract and
Okay,
not really them that have to decide whether they're.
Okay,
to up
so
the
we'll
price.
send that over to them then. Okay, and then once they sign it, then if we need a motion to sign it, or we just, we'll figure it out. Okay. All right, committee reports. What was the first one? Library, public library.
I think the library hit on everything. Big thing is the silent auction going on during Winterfest. Sarah Matson said today she was in there checking and they have bids for $3,300 so far.
Wow.
Their goal is 5,000, so let the bidding wars begin. Gonna be active.
There's some good stuff.
All right. That all for the library?
Yes.
Okay, DDA.
How are we handling these now, the committee reports, like basically only if we want to highlight some?
Yeah, I mean,
If anybody has any questions about any of them, or they wanted, yeah.
No, I mean,
No.
all I have to say with it, because I'm the DDA, alright. And, they're gonna look at buying the sign, because they haven't bought it yet. And it's gone up about $1,500 in price, so they may just buy it and store it someplace in the parking lot ready to go. So that's really, I think, all I could say about the DBW. It's not mine anymore. Is it? Yes, it is mine. That is mine. Hey, sweet. Anything good, Dave?
The biggest thing we had was talking about the cemetery.
So we did that, so. All right, LSW.
That should have been in your packet.
Yeah, there wasn't. Nothing
Oh.
like it discussing this was question.
Who's in charge of, you're in charge of all stuff, weren't you? Okay. What's the next one?
Yeah, with that,
That is,
we didn't have any.
okay. Police.
The rest of them didn't get the police one because of the timing of
Oh,
the.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Randy has it.
I didn't get that minutes of that.
You don't have to read it word for word, you can really. Repeat it.
Dan will be going with some students, I believe, Dan, to some stores for shopping with Hero, is that correct?
Oh, yeah, that'll be next Saturday, or this coming Saturday.
I thought it was pretty cool. I'm missing, prepared.
Where did that money come from?
Actually, Meyer donates, I think. Given DeWitt Township Fire $3,000, and then so. Since I know the person that runs DeWitt Township Fire Department, he's invited Laingsburg to assist. So 9 of our families are gonna be able to shop with the Hero. And then they have a bunch from DeWitt and Township. So I think there's probably somewhere around 30 kids that will go for that. They each get $100 gift card.
Fun day for you.
Dan attended the career day at the Laingsburg High School, for police, fire, and EMS. And meeting with the superintendent regarding school lockdowns and any changes that need to be done, like numbering doors and things like that. A few issues with some dogs in the city this month, and that was addressed as well. That's kind of the highlights.
21 reports for the month. 16 tickets issued. 16 warnings.
$32 traffic stops.
All right, just a couple things I wanted to add, Winterfest is this week. We started off yesterday, or Monday, or Sunday with the 5K, the Grinch Run. We are the only Grinch Run in the state that I can find, so we're gonna try to get that thing to build as that part. But Winterfest is gonna be Saturday, so just want to remind everybody about that. One thing I do want to ask, and you guys, it's something you guys want to do. I talked to Kim a little bit about it, emails, if you guys want to create an email for like a Gmail account or something that's free. Just in case something happens and there's some issues where some people can take emails from your private email, it opens up the door to all your emails in your private thing, so just something to think about if you guys want to create like a city council name at Gmail or something like that. So I know the staff inside is gonna have to go to .gov at some point in time, but it's just something to think about if you guys want to do it, because I'm gonna.
Could we not do it all through the website?
It depends. Gmail is free. The website through the city stuff, I don't think is free.
My concern with the Gmail though is then it's still my personal email.
What we
That-
might do is
But
the
you don't
city,
use it for.
right, we
city.
can have the city create them for everybody under the city's account. So it's not even attached to your own personal account, it'd just be under the city. We'd have to talk to legal and figure out what that option is,
In
but
our
I just
team.
want to put it out there.
And legal is,
Yeah, in case, some legal issues come up, and I just don't want your guys' personal emails to have
Right,
to
put that on the
come into
agenda.
play. if
So
something
can you investigate that? And I think with your tech department, it's still Ron Kramer.
Yeah.
And find out that and bring to the next,
Yeah.
because if it's a Gmail and it is through the city. I have my own personal Gmail and I would want it completely separate, but
That's why it'd be under the city's account for Google. And then they just create Gmails under that account, so it would separate that from your private, because your private Gmail will have a Google account or a Microsoft account. So if you have multiple, because I had multiple Gmail accounts, like for the businesses and Cub Scouts, all that other stuff, all those would be bundled together if there was an issue. This way, there's no issue and it's completely separated.
Do you, because you're a business, do you have a certain limit of how many emails you can have?
I don't
that are
know.
free?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that. Because we don't use, I mean, we have all of our own emails, even though they're probably Gmail accounts, it's Laingsburg.us. But we're all gonna have to go to .gov, which I don't, that's all. Everybody has to do it eventually, so I'm kind of like sitting back waiting for all these other municipalities to do it to see what it's gonna entail, how much it's gonna cost and all that stuff, so I'm guessing that it's gonna cost us for the emails. Sounds like the website's gonna be okay, not too much money, but, and this would be something completely different, I think.
I
It
think
would just
after
be-
setting through that training, you know, and
Yeah,
the lawyer
the
was
FOIA
talking about
and-
that, yes, I mean,
yeah.
it makes sense and keeps everybody safe.
Yeah.
And I think just as a whole, we should move, not, I just decided to do this, I think it's as a whole, everybody's the same.
Yeah,
And then you guys have some control too, if I would step down and
You go rogue.
yeah.
move.
That's, I mean, just something to think about. We'll research it, see what the cost is gonna be, if there is any, what the issues are. We'll talk to legal just to get all that stuff out. So next council meeting, we can see if you guys want to move forward with that or not. I
Yeah,
just
I'll
want,
talk to Ron.
I just want to start the conversation because I'd rather protect everybody than leave the door open for something to happen.
And I think ask about the rollover too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here for 2 years and then I'm done. How does that, what's that cost look like when you have to add? I'm only 2. I'm filling a role. I did it smart way.
You did too. I'm like, nobody's jumping up on that shit. She's gonna get her 2 years in and going, yeah, her name.
Maybe by then I'll understand.
Oh,
I picked it up.
we'll get the information.
Okay.
Anybody want to have questions on that or thoughts? Does everybody think that's a good idea to move that way?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. So it would be under the city's email? I don't,
We would get our own individual account through the city is what they're gonna look into.
okay.
Yeah,
So
the
that-
city would be the parent entity over that email, because if it was you personally, your personal stuff can get
So
involved.
like we have a mayor email right now. So when Jeff left, the IT came in, took it from him, and we get it back. And then we give it to somebody else. So it would be the same thing. We would just do it for everybody instead of just the mayor.
So we're not foilable on our private. account.
Right, and
Yeah,
and
so you're not mixing all that up and.
the one that they had for the mayor cost a certain amount of money. That's why I was thinking if we go to Gmail, does it have any cost in it? And,
It's because it's a Microsoft.
Yeah.
What we are now is a Microsoft.
Yeah, just trying to save some money.
So we could all just create our own Gmail accounts. Because if it's your personal address, then it would be separate. If mine was Jason and it's linked to council at Gmail.
Right.
The only thing on that.
But if you-
account would
yeah.
be-
If you make it under your personal, like a Microsoft account kind of thing, because like on my emails, I don't know if you guys have multiple Gmails, but you can go to the top right, you can change your
Mhm.
They're all
account right there.
underneath your account.
That wouldn't be on that section, it would be under the city. Because it doesn't open for FOIA, it doesn't open that door up, because if it's all under your stuff. All of your stuff could
can
be,
get for you.
yes,
So no, you couldn't go make your own.
so. Yeah, I would not recommend making your own, I'd do it through the city, I mean, it can be your name, which would be fine, and then.
Yeah, we can change it to
You know,
whatever.
something change, like, once your term is up and you don't want to run, then you can just change somebody else's name and delete all those emails and they start from scratch. So that, and I figure since Tim is not an elected position, she's here to stay for a long time, she can have better control over them.
Mhm.
Just. So,
You should $100.
Under.
We're under. We're only like.
We got 5 of them.
You guys.
True value.
Right, does anybody else have anything else to add?
You can just make a bunch of.
Nope.
POCs on
Okay,
it.
do we have to, we don't have to,
Okay, close the meeting, one big share.
okay, give me a motion to close the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, any seconds?
I'll second.
Second, we are adjourned. Thank you.